Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Effa Shaniya binti JUMMEY and I would like to present about capital structure. First of all, capital structure refers to companies' use of debt and equity to fund assets and activities. The debt to equity ratio describes a company's financial structure. Managers determine the best capital structure considering tax deductible interest and financial risk. Companies with more debt may benefit from tax shield but face financial risk. Next is how to determine optimal capital structure. The optimal capital structure is the combination of debt and equity financing that maximizes a company's market value while lowering its cost of capital. Excessive debt raises financial risk to shareholders and the necessary return on equity. The best capital structure is determined by determining the proportion of debt and equity that maximizes market value while lowering the weighted average cost of capital (WACC). The primary objective of corporate finance is to maximize shareholder wealth and yield the lowest WACC. However, too much debt raises interest costs, profits volatility, and bankruptcy risk, which can depress a company's market value. The ideal capital structure uses enough equity to reduce the risk of not being able to repay the debt. Potential equity investors examine the debt or equity ratio and leverage of similar companies to determine the company's optimal capital structure. Besides that, financial instruments such as bonds, long-term loans, debentures, stock and preference share and return earning are all parts of the capital structure with the assistance of people and organizations. These tools assist the business in raising money for its operation. There's factors that affect capital structure and capital decision, such as business size, earnings, competition, stage of the cycle, creditworthiness, and risk attitude of the management. However, financial distress occurs when a company or individual cannot generate enough revenue to meet its financial obligation due to high fixed expenses, illiquid assets, or economic downturns. It can result from inadequate budgeting, overspending, excessive debt, lawsuits, or loss of employment, and ignoring warning signs can lead to severe financial crisis, which may require bankruptcy. Companies in financial trouble may struggle to secure new funding or face decreased market value due to reduced orders and supply changes. A company's cash flow statement can indicate financial instability, and individuals may find their debt payments exceed their income. This situation can lead to asset forfeiture, loss of property, or eviction. Meanwhile, the agency costs of debt refer to the conflict of interest between shareholders and debt holders in a company due to management choices. Debt holders may limit management's activities if they believe management favors shareholders over debt holders. This cost is often linked to the agency cost of equity, which arises between management and shareholder. Debt covenants help lenders protect themselves from default due to financial action that harm the company. Regulations and law govern the relationship between debt holder and agent to minimize the implication of conflict of interest. Furthermore, the pecking order theory, popularized by Stewart Mears and Nicholas Marvlouf in 1984, suggests that a company's financial structure is assessed in a hierarchy. Asymmetric information or information failure occurs when one party has more information than another, leading to an imbalance of transaction power. External users such as creditors and shareholders seek higher returns to offset increased risk. Retained earnings funding, which comes directly from the corporation, reduce information asymmetry, and is cost effective. When using external financing, creditors and investors seek higher return due to less information about the company. The seniority of asset claims also influence financing decision. The signaling theory suggests that managers issue debt and equity based on their perception of their company's undervalued or overpriced status. This theory was first proposed by Rose in 1977 and has been empirically tested by Smith 1986. Increases in debt indicate optimism about future profits, which can impact leverage. Share prices are more affected by news about financial structure than bond prices. Companies with higher earnings are considered cheap, while those with lower earnings are considered overpriced. The theory suggests that business management tries to time equity offerings based on market valuations. However, there is no evidence that European managers use their private information to affect capital structure. Overall, the signing theory is generally correct. That's all from me. Thank you.